Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today what we're going to talk about is nuclear survival skills. Stick around. Alright guys, so if you're like me, you have been watching the news. I know this is really big. Please excuse my voice. I am suffering from a lot of allergies this season, so I'm on a bunch of different meds. So if I sound a little bit nasally, I apologize. I'm just trying to get through this. A lot of videos are coming out, a lot of information. You can see some of the kit that I have on this table. I have been preparing for nuclear war since 1986. I think I was a young child. Back in the day, we used to have in school drills. We used to have bomb shelter schools where they would take all the students, push them into the hallways or the lower part of the gym, or they would have a lower part of the building, and what that did is to try to secure as many children as possible in case of a nuclear war. We didn't really think nuclear war was such a big deal after the 90s, I think with the Star Wars systems, and kind of got off track with a couple of the wars that came down, but now it's actually kind of sprung back up because Russia does have nuclear weapons. They have really nasty nuclear weapons, and of course so do we, and I think 9 other countries, including us and Russia, do have nuclear weapons, so it is a concern. So what I'm going to do today is I am going to try to give you some knowledge. It is very survivable if you're not in that immediate blast area. Nobody wants to see a nuclear war. I hope it never happens to us, but if it does, I want to give you a few things that you can do to prepare for yourself. So this is what we're going to go over today. So Hiroshima and Nagasaki, when we dropped the nuclear bombs on them, I think we killed like 185,000 Japanese. So that's quite a significant number, but if you think about the numbers now, New York City has about 8 million people. Again, the bombs are bigger, the bombs are better nowadays as they were back then. They are more looking towards a strategic strike as opposed to just dropping massive bombs. Now, I know a lot of people might disagree with me on this, but here's the thing. If I'm a leader of a country, a far-out leader, somebody that wants to drop bombs on, the civilian populace is not the people that I'm worried about. What I'm looking to bomb is anybody that can shoot rockets or bombs back at me. So anybody that's in close proximity to a military base, anybody that's in close proximity to a silo, a missile silo, a test center, anybody that lives close to a airstrip bombers, okay? So you got to think of them in those terms. It's not so much, okay, we're going to hit the major cities. Yeah, that's probably going to happen anyway, but that's not going to be the first strike. The first strike for me as a military leader is to strike the opponent's arsenal. So if you live near a military base, a large platform, air base, or airport, or any type of missile silos, that's more dangerous than living in a larger city, okay? And I know some people will disagree with me on that, but I'm pretty sure those are the target. Those are definite targets. Civilian populace, civilian casualties will die off anyway as soon as you disrupt the supply lines, but I'm going to stop somebody from shooting rockets back at me. All right, that being said, there are survivors. I think there was like 100. I'm just checking my notes right here. I think it was on over 165 citizens that lived through both atomic bombs. There is a gentleman called Tasumi Yamaguchi. He was on a business trip in August 6, 1945, and in Hiroshima, and the first bomb went off. He thought the sun dropped out of the sky. He didn't know what was going on. He jumped in a ditch. And it was only 3 kilometers away from the blast, and he survived. Now, be it he was partially blind and burned all over, then he got medevaced, went to Nagasaki, where he lived, and just 3 days later, he was in his office space, and the second bomb hit. This guy lived. He was able to get to a ladder well or stairwell that was reinforced concrete, and he survived the second bomb attack. Now, I know there's going to be some people that say, hey, you know what? I'm just going to go, I'm just going to kiss my ass goodbye, whatever. That's great. Fine. Hopefully you're within that radius that'll do that. If you have to survive a nuclear fallout and you are not in that blast radius, now you're going to starve to death. There's no way to die, trust me. Speaking about surviving nuclear bombs, which there's 2 factors that are going to help you survive. One is the yield of the bomb, how big it is. Two is your immediate response to that blast. Okay, let me go into that a little bit. Some of the factors is the size of the bomb, how big it is, how many megatons, kilotons, that kind of thing. Your geographic location, so if you live in a mountainous area, kind of helps out, right? The weather, so any type of nuclear fallout that you might have, that weather pattern could push that radioactive dust and that radioactive material away from you, which is good. Is it an airburst or is it a ground explosion? Now let me talk a little bit about this. An airburst is designed to blow up above the ground. What that does is it damages everything down, but it doesn't kick up any debris or anything that, you know, would go back into the ionosphere or atmosphere, right? A ground burst is a lot worse because the bomb actually has to hit the ground. It creates all this dust, and you're gonna see the mushroom cloud. That's what I'm talking about, a ground burst. If it hits the ground, it turns the dirt, the material, everything that it hits, and it turns it into radioactive dust, which brings it out into the atmosphere, and then that dust blows away into other zones, which can cause you to get sick. All right. Let's just use an example here. Let's talk about a 10 kiloton bomb. A 10 kiloton bomb is more or less as close as the first bomb that we dropped, okay, in Hiroshima, which was 15, but this one is 10. All right. The fireball is the immediate death zone. All right. This is 10, not 100. So if you had 110, obviously the space is going to be a lot larger. Fireball is about 200 meters, so it's about 656 feet. Instant death. All right, this is where those guys are going to say they're going to turn around, kiss their ass goodbye. You want to be in that 200 meter ground zero. If you're in that 200, there's no survival. You are completely going to turn into dust, cinder, and you're going to die. The second thing you got to worry about is the shock wave. The shock wave, the super shock wave, is where you see all the buildings and debris kind of get blown out. All the windows are going to get blown out. All right, that's a 450 meter circle from ground zero. That's about a 1,542 feet. Blast radius, flying debris, going to cause some death. Yeah, without a doubt. All right, so if you think about a hurricane, typhoon, you're going to get hit with something. You're definitely going to die. You're in that blast zone. It's not good. So we're already out 1,542 feet, probably instant death, okay, from ground zero. The medium shock wave is about 1 kilometer or 3,281 feet. Building collapse, residential collapse, serious injury. This is where you're going to see some people may survive, but there's going to be some serious injury, arms, burns, that kind of thing. Your houses will collapse within that zone. So we're already out 1 kilometer, and you could look up the math as far as how many miles that is, but it's 3,200 feet. All right. The radiation zone, and this is extremely dangerous. Nobody wants to die from radiation sickness. The fastest way you can die from radiation sickness is to be inside that debris, that zone when it falls down. Cover your mouth, cover your face, cover everything, and get inside. All right, that's the fastest way to save yourself. We're looking at 1.25 kilometers or 41,000 feet. Extreme dose of radiation poisoning. It's about 8,000 times greater than your X-ray machine. Human beings cannot survive that. All right, so it's pretty bad. It's about 80 to 90% death rate, and that's 1.25 kilometers. All right, thermal radiation. Thermal radiation, you're looking at 1.4 kilometers or 4,500 or 4,600 feet. You can survive it, but it's going to be really brutal. It's going to be radiation poisoning, radiation sickness, third-degree burns, blindness. Blindness is temporary, second degree and first degree burns. All right. So your safe zone from a 10,000 kiloton bomb, which is the same one that we dropped on Hiroshima, is going to be about 2.4 miles. All right. Doesn't sound like a lot, right? So it's like, oh, it's only 3 miles. That's it. I got this. But again, we're not talking about that technology. That's World War II technology. Most of the bombs that you're going to see today are going to be some type of improvised device. Somebody drops an improvised device, probably about the same yield, inside of a major city. It's going to be extremely bad, especially with millions of people. But you're looking at about 2.5 miles to be in your safe zone. But you're still going to have 30,000 dead, maybe 75,000 to 100,000 dead inside that zone. Okay, and that's a small bomb. All right, so what are we supposed to do when we see the flash or the bomb or we get it? We got about 15 to 20 minutes to get to a zone. Now, understand this. If you built a $20 million bomb shelter, but you work in a different state, there's no way you're going to get home in time. You're going to have to look at other alternatives. Big buildings, schools, hospitals, any type of subway system, those are excellent bomb shelters. I mean, they're field expedient. I get it. You probably won't have all your supplies, and we'll get into the kit in a minute, but you're gonna have to get underground. Everybody keeps saying it. Get inside, and stay tuned. Get inside, and stay tuned. Get inside a location where you're gonna have radiation and bomb protection. Stay inside at least 72 hours, 48 to 72 hours, and then stay tuned, which is get a radio, all right? Something that you can hear what the updates are, what the news is. All right, let's talk a little bit about Fallout. So Fallout is probably going to last within the first 24 hours. Fallout is that radioactive dust that I was talking about. You're probably going to have 90%, 80% of that is going to go away. Okay, so you're still at that 20%. 1% can still kill you. Okay, if you are going to shelter in place, which you really have no other choice, just to give you some specs: 5 inches of steel, 16 inches of brick, and 24 inches of packed dirt can block 99% of radiation. So 5 inches of steel, 16 inches of brick, and 24 inches of packed dirt will block 99% radiation. All right, so think about that in terms of buildings. Don't use your car. Your car is terrible. It has glass windows. It's not very well insulated. If you are outside when you get caught in a blast, which most people might be, cover your mouth, cover your nose, get one of these N95 or N100s for particulars. You can carry all that stuff. If you want to carry a gas mask, by all means do it. But it's going to be very heavy and you're going to carry it all the time. If you get caught outside at some point and you are during this blast and you do survive the blast, that fallout's going to get on your clothing. You need to get rid of that clothing. So hopefully you're near a store or you carry an extra set of clothes with you. If you can get all those clothes off, you're going to have to carefully and gingerly take them off without breathing in or any cuts or anything like that. Don't get that radiation in your skin. Put it in a plastic bag. If there is a shower nearby, soap nearby, clean yourself off as much as possible. If you have a decontamination center, get there. Get that crap off of you. You don't want it touching you. You don't want it touching your skin. You don't want to breathe it in. Radiation sickness will kill you within 24 to 72 hours. The first sign of radiation sickness is you will be throwing your guts up. It's usually pretty fatal after that. At some point, you might have to go outside. If you're already stuck somewhere that's not at home, you're already at a disadvantage. Try to wait 72 hours if you can. 2 weeks is even better. At 2 weeks, it's about 99% negative fallout. Again, you got to realize that there is 1% can still hurt you and really bad. So if you had protective equipment, that's great. But if you don't, now you have to try to get home. All that radioactive dust can be laying on the ground. It's going to be laying all over the place. You don't want to be touching it or breathing it in. Alright guys, so I'm going to talk about some of the kit that I have here on this table. I want to make sure you understand that this kit is not a full inclusive kit. I am not the expert in nuclear survival. So what I did is I purchased this book right here. This is an outstanding book. I highly recommend it. This is Nuclear War Survival Skills, the updated and expanded version. It's by Preston H. Kearney. And what I'm going to do for you guys is anything that you see here will be in a link and go directly to my Amazon store. My Amazon store will have all the kit that you guys see here. So if you click on it and you purchase it from me, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I think I get like 2 cents on the dollar. Also, if you have any comments, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. It really helps keep this channel going. All right, so let's talk a little bit about kit. Now, water. Let's talk about water. You should have, at any given time, water stored up, okay? I know it's really difficult. I live in an urban environment. There's not a lot of space, but at least have some water stored up. The problem is that if you drink from an open source, like we have the New York City reservoir, which is an open source, eventually that water will be contaminated. You will have to filter it. There's a billion ways to filter your water. I'm not going to go over it here, but if you run out of water inside your house or you're drinking out of the tap, you need to filter it. All right. Food. Believe it or not, you're going to have to eat. So 72 hours is a long time to go without food. So if you have a Go kit or a Go bag, stock that thing with food. Now, if your food is outside, you also have to worry about contamination. If it's packaged, you can clean it off. Again, be very careful, be very wary about what you eat from the outside. Your vegetables, your plants are no longer good. You're going to have to replant those again in weeks or months or years' time. You're going to have to cut off at least 2 feet. I say 12. Some people say 12. I say 2 feet of dirt to get rid of that contaminated source, put it somewhere else, and get rid of it. Batteries. So let's talk about communication. Now, this is just a solar battery. Solar radio. This is nice and small. I can carry it in a pack and I can listen to what's going on in the world. It also has a flashlight on there. I could also charge up my cell phone and anything else I need. This one is the Ambient Weather by Adventurer. I'll put the link down below as well. Again, something like this you're going to need. Also, if you wanted something that was going to communicate with your family, you don't know if cell phones are going to be available, you have no idea what's going on, so you're going to have to do some type of comm. Like I said, flashlight, first aid kit. You might be cut, you might be hurt. Nothing's going to save you from radiation sickness. If you get a big enough dose, you are going to die. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. So what we can do is a preventive aids, and I'll get to that in a little bit. Extra batteries, carry a whistle to signal. Again, that's kind of like one of those survival things, always carry a whistle so you don't lose your voice. All right, I get that. Gas mask, dust mask, plastic sheeting, and duct tape. So let's talk about that. That's really important. Now, most people can carry a N100 dust mask or an N95. That's really not a problem. I've seen a lot of people do that before. When it comes to military surplus grade, all right, there's a lot of gas masks out there. These happen to have the cheek filters. If we're talking about NBC kit, NBC Nuclear Biological Chemical Kit, you want to get something that covers all of those. There's a new name for that as well. I know you want to get the ones that have the 40 millimeter canister. I do have one. It's actually on my warfighting kit right now. But these aren't bad. These will expire at some point, but you do want that canister that sits on the side. There are some that are hazmat gas masks that you can buy right now on Amazon. They're about $300, so they're not cheap, but make sure you get the one with the water filter in it. So the way this works is you have this on your face, you have a regular military canteen, and you can see right here what happens is there's a little rubber gasket. Again, make sure this is closed so there's no filter or dust on it. And if you need to drink, you can plug it in here. It seats all the way down, and now you can get some water. I'm going to tell you from experience that if you are going to use a hazmat or chemical suit, military grade or not, you're going to need water. It gets very, very hot in these things, and honestly, you shouldn't be leaving your house anyway, but if you had to leave, at least you had some water, you have your kit. Now, when it comes to suits, this is a whole military kit. All right, this is one of the older ones. Again, I bought this military surplus. This comes with everything. It comes with the top, the bottom, the booties, and the gloves. All right, so I'll just give you an idea what it looks like. Has everything I need in it. So these are the boots, these are the gloves, and this is a charcoal filled chemical suit. It's in an OD green, and I have a couple of those also. And I don't know if you can get these anymore because these are kind of old and dated, but they don't go bad. You can get this one. This one's pretty good. This is the NBC suit. It's in camo. All right, and it comes in this nice sealed, vacuum sealed, and I think the date on this is 1991, smock, DPM, and it has a whole bunch of stuff. So if you can get these are great. I think they're a little bit more durable as far as NBC suits because they have to be for the military. Gloves. Get the large black gloves. Also, what you want to do is get rubber gloves. So the rubber gloves go inside first, then you put your suit on, then you put these over the suit, and then you use duct tape to seal it. You're going to seal everything before you go out. Also, if you're going to buy one of these suits, buy it 4 times as large as you are. So if double up whatever you are. So if you're a medium, get a double X. If you're a double X, get a 4X, all right? This is more likely what you're going to find. This is a hazmat suit that you're going to find on Amazon or eBay. Again, these are for NBC or chemical, and you can actually see on there protective clothing category 3, and it actually has nuclear, biological, and chemical, and you can see that right on the stamp right there. Again, they're going to say that they are expired. This one was made in Romania, Indux, but again, I'll drop a link down below. You can buy the new ones. Buy the largest that you can because you're going to be wearing it over your suit, or I'm sorry, you're going to be wearing it over your clothing. All right, as far as inside sheltering in place, what you want to do is at least have some type of plastic sheeting. Plastic sheeting works very well. Again, it's not so much for the nuclear radiation or the gamma radiation, but what it does is it keeps all the particulates out. Now, this one I got pretty cheap. This is about 6 mil thick. The thicker, the better. What you want to do is keep as much chemicals and much crap out of here as much as possible. You're sheltering. Shelter in a home or shelter in a space that is the lowest part of your house, has the least amount of windows and doors, and is surrounded by the most dirt, brick, or steel, if that makes sense, all right? Duct tape. All right, this is not expensive stuff. Buy it now. Buy 5 rolls. Buy 10 rolls. It never goes bad. I love duct tape. I have duct tape everywhere. All right, but with these 2 things right here, you can seal in your home pretty good, especially if your windows got blown out. Now you don't have any windows. Stuff's coming in, and you're just breathing all that crap in. You don't want that. You severely don't want that, all right? All right, also, garbage bags, decontamination. You could set up a decontamination room, let's say like in your mud room or the foyer area or whatever, wherever you have in your house, just a separate room where you can curtain it off with the sheeting. And when somebody comes in that might be contaminated, you take all their stuff off, you clean them right there. They don't come into the other part of the house until they've been completely decontaminated. Hopefully you have a shower on the first floor and it's only made for decontamination. So that would be good. Another great tool is multi-tool, obviously, can openers, because you would have to eat out of cans. Cans will survive any type of nuclear war. Buy canned goods, buy canned goods, buy canned goods. They will survive a nuclear war. Just make sure you have a can opener to open it with. If you have a multi-tool, you should be pretty good with that. Local maps of the area, extra cell phone stuff, that kind of stuff. All right, let's talk about how do we protect ourselves internally. So there are pills that you can go out there and get. I think it's the KI version or Isotat. I'm sure you've probably seen them everywhere. They are completely sold out anywhere you go. This is potassium iodide. And what potassium iodide does, not iodine, iodite, is it blocks the receptors inside your thyroid. Radiation attacks your thyroid. So if you have enough of this to absorb any radiation, you're probably going to survive. You can only have one of these every 24 hours. It's basically a rock salt mineral that blocks radiation. You want to have this on hand. Again, I will put it in the store. I will put it in the link. You can buy this. These are not FDA approved. Again, try, if you can, find the KI version or the Isotat version, because those are pretty good. But also, another thing that you can look at is Lugol's. This is Lugol's right here. This is in liquid form. And what this does is distilled water, 94%, potassium iodide, 4%, and then iodine. This is in 2 fluid ounces. This is pill form. This is drops. So You might want to think, well, you might say, well, why would I need both? I have small children. They're probably not going to be able to swallow pills. So if I put a little bit of this in a water solution, it would definitely help them out. There's no age limit to it. You can be old or young. It doesn't matter. It all works the same. You just have to figure out how much you need to block those radiation receptors and to make sure that you're not going to get radiation sickness. As soon as the bomb goes off, you probably want to take either one. And again, I'm going to put that in the link below. All right, lastly, during Chernobyl, there were a lot of children that were getting sick. They realized that what they were doing is they were feeding people the food that's already been contaminated, so that's a huge no-no. And some kids got sick, some kids didn't, so they did a whole big test study, and they figured out that apple juice was the reason that they were getting better. And honestly, I didn't know this, but this is outstanding. Pectin, the pectin in apple juice, what it does is it takes the cesium-137 radiation and it binds to it, and then it passes that radiation out through the urine. So again, don't overdose on apple juice, but basically 5 grams 2 times a day of pectin will reduce radiation in your body. All right, so that's pretty awesome. And you can get apple juice. Kids love apple juice. I love apple juice. I'm going to start making that part of my daily intake. Don't overdose on it, because if you drink too much apple juice, it can cause upset stomachs and stuff like that. So that's not good either. If you wanted to, you can also get this thing called apple pectin, and this is a pill form. Again, on Amazon, I'll drop the link as well, and you can figure that out how many you need. But specifically, clear apple juice is a little bit better, they found, but good luck trying to find that. Also, apple juice has a lot of sugar in it too, so also be aware of that. But I'm not worried about diabetes. If I'm in a nuclear holocaust, I just don't want radiation in my body. So definitely apple juice. So get some apple juice, stock up on that. Pectin works wonders. You can read all the information you want about pectin. Lastly, I'm going to talk about, and I don't have any here because it's on order, is a Geiger counter or nuclear radiation detector. There are a lot of them out there. They have that, remember that big yellow one they used to go around? It looks like a Ghostbuster kit. It's like a lunchbox. All right, those are pretty good. Those were during the Cold War era. The problem is that they're very, very big. They're very heavy, and they need to be synchronized. So they actually need a technician to fix them up. So if you buy one on eBay for like $300 and it's not tuned, you're probably getting wrong readings. They also have digital ones that are excellent. Those are outstanding. Those seem to be working, but they're all coming from China or outside the US, so you're going to have to wait 3 to 7 weeks to get them. Also, they have the keychain version, which doesn't have any LCDs whatsoever, which is actually pretty good. It's like this big, and again, I'll put that in the links down below if you like that. It just gives you an idea of what the radiation is. Now, we have radiation. Don't freak out when you turn it on and it starts buzzing. We are surrounded by radiation. Your microwave, your TV, your computer monitor, even this camera. Everything's giving off radiation. So don't freak out. Human beings can withstand a certain amount of radiation, not 800 times, but we can handle it. But that's why you have to get things like supplements to help you get that stuff out of your body. Okay, so get a Geiger counter. I don't care which one you get, but what's going to help you is it will determine when it is safe or safer to leave your bomb shelter, your house, your subway, and it's very small. You can carry it with you. All right, guys, just a couple last tips. Stay away from milk products. Milk products tend to hold on to radiation, believe it or not. So cow's milk, if you have a cow that's been radiated, do not drink from it. Stay away from any type of dairy. And conditioner, believe it or not. Hair conditioner actually attracts radiation, so stay away from that. If you have to decontaminate, make sure it's just soap and water. That's it. No conditioner. I'm sorry, you're going to lose your lustrous hair anyway, so you probably wouldn't need it. Conditioner, no milk, all right? And stay inside. find shelter, stay inside, and make sure you turn on the radio. Guys, thank you very much. If you like this video and like everything I said, please put comments down below. I'm sure I got something wrong and the internet loves to correct me. If you want to support this channel, go to 3riverblades.com. Look at all the awesome knives I have up there. Go to 3 River Kydex if you want an awesome Kydex product, such as a holster or a pouch. And please make sure you go to Patreon. Become a Patreon member. It's only $1 a month. I upload these videos pretty quickly, so you don't have to wait in line like everybody else. You get the content as soon as it comes out. Thank you very much, guys. Please like and subscribe, and as always, please stay safe.